Air dribbles. I definitely feel like it's the most needed and wanted mechanic in Turbo League. It just looks so cool seeing the car fly across the air. And if you can fly across the air and control the ball, yeah, just like that your gameplay has went to another level. In this video, I'm going to be going in depth on how to perform an air dribble no gyro. This should be very beginner friendly, meaning that you could just download the game and in 1 week time you'll know how to air dribble no gyro. I'm also going to be giving you guys a few drills and practices you can do to improve your air dribble game in no time. So if you're excited for this, stay tuned. Let's jump right into it. Now the first thing is going to have to be the car. Depending on the car you have will determine how well you play. Now the best car will be the Fight Monster. It's free and it's beginner friendly. However, you'll see other no gyro players using Speedback, Turtle or Jetfire. Now the thing with the Speedback is that you're able to generate stronger first touches, which is great when you're actually learning how to air dribble. But because of the hitbox, you're pretty much balancing the ball on this tiny thing at the front, this tiny flap, you know what I'm saying? If you watch closely of me just air dribbling using the Speedback, you realize that I'm trying to keep the ball on that tiny thing, and over time it gets easier and easier to do. Now the Turtle, because of its hitbox, you're able to get softer touches, which means you're able to have smoother air dribbles. However, because of how snappy the Turtle is, I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner. So now that you have chosen the Fight Monster, let's go through the settings. Alright, so pay attention. You want to use analog, you want your sensitivity to be maxed out. This camera settings that I'm showing you is the best camera settings when you're learning air dribble because it focuses on the nose of the car. So it makes it easier to do that while not being too close, so you're still aware of what's going on around you. And that's for audio. I normally just turn off the music for real. Now controls. You want your jump to be just above your analog, and while learning to air dribble, you'll see why this is important. You want the boost to be somewhat near your gas, easy access. You want the drift to just be anywhere you want to, really. And as for the reset, I find it best when it's just above my gas. That way it's easy for me to reach it because you want to be able to reset as quick as possible in a competitive match. Alright, so now that we get all of that out the way, let's start learning how to air dribble. Now, before you can air dribble, you need to know how to ground dribble. You need to learn how to dribble on the ground. So I just want you to get comfortable dribbling around the field. You know what I'm saying? You just want the ball to know that you want to be friends. You want to just touch the ball. You know, just touch the ball. So you want to be practicing this for as long as you want. Also, word of advice, you are in practice mode. You have all the time. Do not rush it. Move at your own pace. You know what I'm saying? Just relax and learn. So the air dribble that we're going to be practicing is the first stage, which is the easiest, and that is when you dribble into the air dribble, which should look something like this. So the first thing you want to learn to do is learn how to drive and pop the ball. So I want you to just push the ball forward and pop it. Now when you pop the ball, you want to immediately let go of gas because the more you hold down, the more the car will face down. The goal is, just as you jump off the ground, you want your car to be as parallel to the ground as possible. So before even going for the air dribble, ensure that you get the timing down of just driving and then jumping. And after that, you want to drive, jump and boost. And then from there you want to drive, jump, tilt back, then boost. And only when you're able to get the timing down, I would then start going for the air dribble. But now that you have completed that, you have got the timing down, it's time to start air dribbling. So you want to dribble the ball forward, you want to pop the ball, and then you want to tilt back and just boost into the ball. Now keep in mind, you might miss at first, the ball might go over to the side a little, but you just want to keep on doing this. Drive, pop, tilt back, boost into the ball. You want to just smack it. It's pretty much like the ball owes you money and you just want to hit it. So now that you can hit the ball in the air, you want to then get the second touch. And the way how you want to get the second touch is by getting a softer hit. And the way you get a softer hit is by just before you hit the ball, you let go of boost. This is going to slow your car down. It's going to generate a softer hit. And this is when we're starting to get into boost feathering. But that's for later on in the video. You know what I'm saying? But now I just wanted to focus on driving, popping, boost into it. You want to get a soft touch, and then after the soft touch you want to boost into it again. You want to also implement the analog a little more. If you're going over the ball, you want to put the analog up. If you're going under the ball, you want to tilt the analog down. Now what you would probably realize once you have mastered dribbling on the ground is that the proper way to use the analog is to not keep your finger on it, but rather each time you're going to turn, you make the turn, you make the adjustment, and then you leave the analog alone. So I wanted to go to the right, I turn right, and then I let my finger off the analog. The beauty though with this way how to air dribble is that once you have a good dribble before you pop the ball, by the time you pop the ball and you tilt back, your car should already be in line with the ball, so there's not much adjusting to do. Over time you get what I'm trying to say, but I feel like for beginners, at first you just have your finger on the analog and you're just moving around, and even though you turn to the right already, you manually put it in the middle and then turn to the left, manually put it back in the middle. The proper way to use it is just make the adjustment, leave, make the adjustment, leave. Another thing you'll also realize is that once you get the second touch, you'll be in line for a third touch. Now feel free to rather get a nice second touch and then chase the third touch, or 2, just boost into the second touch. That way you get more touches. But I would recommend after you get the second touch, you just try to chase the third touch. And the way how our air dribble is performed is that you gradually want to get softer touches and the softer the touches are, the more glued the ball will be to the car and the more control you have over the air dribble. Now as for how you get soft touches is by feathering the boost. And to really just understand how to feather up the boost properly is that if you're going too fast, you just want to let go of the boost. It's going to slow you down. And if you're going too slow, you want to boost up. If you're going down to the ground, you want to boost up. If you're going too high, you want to let go of the boost. It's that simple. You want me to repeat? If you're going too fast, you want to let go of the boost. If you're going too slow, you want to hold the boost. You want to go faster, right? If you're going too high, you want to let go of the boost because it's going to slow you down. Your car is to slowly start descending. And if you want to go higher, you want to boost up. It's that simple. Now there's no perfect way on how to boost feather. It just all depends on the situation. Over time of just practicing air dribbles, you slowly realize how to boost feather. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much that simple. After you get the second touch, you just want to keep on trying to get more touches. You get the second touch, you get the third touch, you get the fourth touch. Gradually you practice. Eventually you can air dribble. Now, before I get into a few practices, drills, whatever you want to call it, that you can do to improve your car control, ball control, your air dribble game so fast, I first have to point out a few advices. Advice number 1, you want to practice in gladiator map because of how big the map is. You have more space to move around. Advice number 2, you want to take your time. Okay, like don't rush it. Try not to get frustrated. Trust me, I've mastered a lot of mechanics in the game, no gyro, and one of the biggest things I had to learn is try not to get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting too frustrated, just take a break. There's nothing in just coming off the game, do something, kiss your mom on the cheek or something, and then go back on the game. You know what I'm saying? Just take a break. Obviously, you also want to be in practice mode. And I feel like the most underrated thing, but the most important thing, like once you implement this, you realize, oh my god, it's saving the replays. Trust me. Saving the replays after each practice session and just watching, if it's even like 30 seconds of you just attempting the air dribble, you realize so many things that you could be improving. Of course, you're not going to see all of them while you're doing the air dribble, but just sitting down and watching the air dribble, you realize that, oh wow, I could have used analog more, or I could have used my boost more. Now within like 3 days, you should be able to score an air dribble, considering that you only practice for 30 minutes to 1 hour. Within just 3 days, you should be able to do an air dribble, and you should be able to score an air dribble. It's actually very easy. So here's my advice on how to score your first air dribble. When the ball spawns in the middle of the map, you want to line the car up facing the goal. Then you want to go into the dribble and do everything that you have practiced so far, and then you just want to slowly feather the boost, and just like that, practice, you'll be able to score your first air dribble. The more you feel comfortable doing this, the more you can increase the difficulty by just adjusting how far you are from the goal. And this is like another important advice. The more you dribble the ball on the ground before you pop it, the more forward momentum you'll have, which will make the ball be lower. And the less you dribble the ball on the ground, the more momentum you will have upward, and the ball is going to be higher. Here are a few practices that you can do to improve your car control and your ball control through the roof. First drill, and yes, personally, before I start telling you, I did these drills myself when I just started learning how to air dribble, which was like 3 years ago. I did these drills myself. So the first practice, and I feel like it's the most important practice, is just being comfortable with flying. So you just want to fly in the sky. Fly in the sky, turn in the sky. The way how you turn is that first you want to turn to the direction you want to go. So if you want to go left, you want to go left, and then while you make the turn, you want to slide it from the left to the bottom. This is going to align the car to make that nice smooth butter turn. Getting comfortable with just being in the air is going to improve your car control by a mile. And if you want to step it up another notch, then we'll move on to flying in a circle around the ball. I normally use the circle that's on the field as a guideline, but that's more difficult, I won't lie. Even I struggle with it. So you can just fly around the ball. It doesn't have to be within the circle or around the circle, but just fly around the ball. This is going to improve your car control by a mile. And the next thing you can do is going in shootout mode and hitting the ball as it shoots out the side. But here's the thing though, you want to transition the hit into an air dribble. Now this is going to be like, this is going to take you a while, especially just getting a soft hit. But once you can do this, trust me, at this point you're pretty much a pro at air dribbling. Anyways, man, this is part 1 on how to air dribble in Turbo League. In the other video, I'm going to be explaining the intermediate and the hard stage, but this is just the easiest stage. So trust me, you guys will see how easy it is. You know what I'm saying? In 3 days, or here's my predictions. In 3 days of practicing 30 minutes to 1 hour, you will be able to air dribble. Alright? In 5 days, you'll be comfortable with air dribbling. And then in 7 days, you'll be able to not only score an air dribble, but you will be able to generate an air dribble whenever you want to, for the most part. So, with that being said, like the video, and I'll see you guys.